Hi everyone, Celeste here. I'm just drinking some nice brewed cold coffee. It has almond milk in it, it's really good, and in my cute little panda mug. Today I'm feeling a little tired, so I'm not gonna be like too overly like energetic or over the top, which I always feel like I need to be. Like if I'm interacting with someone, I always feel like I need to be like overly entertaining or just bringing value to the interaction. I need to be super attentive or listening very, very well, asking questions, completely engrossed in whatever it is that they're saying. But it kind of gets exhausting, so I'm just kind of just wing it today, which is pretty much every video. I don't really have like a script or anything. And today's going to be like part 2 or chapter 2 of my series of unfortunate jobs. And I already covered my jobs that I had while I was in community college. And now I figured, why don't we go over the jobs that I had while I was in university? And I did kind of luck out, and I did get married when I was in college, which was, you know, found someone in community college, absolutely fell in love, head over heels. Like, I completely loved and adored this person, like completely. They could not do anything wrong in my mind or in my book. And so yeah, it was just when I went to the university, we went down there together and we stayed in a little townhouse together. It was really tiny and had the weirdest like green carpet. It must have been on sale, but it was pretty. But it was like a really bright, not like a weird green, it's more like a nice hunter green, but it was pretty, but it was strange. But the place was like really, really cheap. It actually cost less than my car note did. And so I lived there. We went to the university for probably 4 years, I think. I went there for, I went to the community college for 3 years, and I went there for 3 years, and he went there for 4 years. So I was down there for 4 years, which was fun because actually my last year, I just kind of hung out with the college students, and I was like studying Japanese on my own, and I went to like the Japanese club, and I just did all these fun things, and I didn't tell anyone I had graduated. I was just like, I'm studying Japanese if anyone asked me, and I just got to hang out and have fun for my last like year. So that was nice. And I was like making soaps and doing like boutique-y things. I actually sold like an entire box of soap that I had made. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So I originally, you know, I left, did not turn in a 2-week notice because I didn't even know that was a thing. So I left and in July, and I moved down to the area, Starkville, where my university was, and in August, just packed up our little car, we moved down there, and I don't even think we got a moving truck. I don't even remember how everything got there. I don't even remember. It's so weird when memories become so like far away that you really start to lose all of the little fine details and things. And so I don't even know. I think maybe his dad, I feel like his dad got like a trailer and they put stuff on it, because I know all the furniture that we decorated the house with, it came from like his grandpa, and his grandpa had like an old blue couch like in the attic, and like all these like hodgepodge things, like a little table. And then we just had like a plastic, like those big plastic like folding tables. So we just had like one of those with the TV, and the TV was like as big as a computer screen pretty much. And he was super frugal, and we pretty much, that's all we had. So we just had like a bed without like any kind of like frame or anything. We didn't have any dresser, so we just like stuck our clothes. We just piled them just like on this little slatted thing next to the window. It almost was like a giant, like a window seat, but it was really deep. So it was almost like a mini bed. And we didn't put anything on it. So we just put all our clothes on it, just like folded them and just like stacked them all on that thing, and that was our dresser. Like, I'm used to living like super frugally without really having like a lot of furniture or decor or just anything. You just kind of just have a mattress and your clothes just kind of sits in a pile, and that's your life. And you know, that was fine. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, so I lived that way for 4 years, and it was nice because when I moved in there, like, I didn't have to worry about paying rent or bills as much as I'd had to do the previous few years. And so it was nice to kind of, and I never really watched movies, or never, like, my entire life. So at 21, I finally started like watching, you know, movies. most people watch and see and stuff. So it was kind of fun. Like I would go to the university, I would go to my classes, and when I got home I could take a nap, or I would like start watching shows, and we watched anime together. I really started to get into anime. Dragon Ball Z was actually the first anime that I watched, and thankfully I did kind of enjoy it, because it's like a super boring anime. Like it's almost like the same episode, I feel like, over and over and over and over and over for like eternity. I mean, it was fine. And then we watched Avatar. That was not the movie Avatar, but you know, Aang. And that was another like anime that I absolutely loved. And so it was just nice to kind of like slow down and not have to like stress or worry so much about stuff. And I just did that for like 3 years. And so I had like random like little like side jobs that I did, because I did like having my own money. I had my own bank account, even though we're married, and I didn't have a lot in it. But and also for my year that I was at the university, my first year, because I was married, I could count myself. You know, usually when you are trying to get financial aid, they count your parents' income, and if for whatever reason, like you hardly qualify, especially in Mississippi. It's like everyone there's like really low income, so you have to be like really low income to get anything, it feels like. And I had a few scholarships, or you know, something like that. Didn't cover it, but I was able to get some financial aid, and so that covered my, you know, tuition and things like that for that first year. So that was really nice, that I didn't have to take out a student loan, and I didn't have to like work myself to death like previously I was trying to do. And so that was just really nice to not have all that stress and stuff. But there was still a lot going on, and I don't even know if I even want to get into that or have that online. I mean, maybe at some point, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling. I just don't really like to talk about too many people, I guess, that might watch it, you know, that might know people that I'm speaking of. Even if I don't like mention names, they might know. Coffee's really good. And so the few things that I did like on the side were, I did surveys. I don't know if y'all have heard of this, and it was totally not worth it. But I was like filling out surveys for like 10 cents, 15 cents. I mean, it's like pennies. And so I did that in my free time. I was like filling out surveys. I got cereal one time. They shipped it to me for free, so that was nice. I got to eat some cereal, and I never sent them the questionnaire, like the answers and stuff, like what I thought about it and the taste and stuff. And it sent me in like an unmarked box. And it was so weird, because like 4 months or 6 months like after I ate that cereal, and it was good, I liked it, I saw like, you know, this, it was like little, almost like little Cheerios with like stuff on it or whatever, and I saw it in like the store, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cereal that I tried like 4 months ago or 6 months ago. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I don't think I see it at the store anymore, you know, but this was like 10 years ago. And so I was doing that, like some surveys, and in my biochemistry field, I met a girl. She was biochem as well, and we became friends. She sold like Juice Plus and things like that. She was like into the multi-level marketing. Oh my gosh, okay, I have to tell you about that too. So she was into that, and I didn't even know what a multi-level marketing, I didn't even know what that was. Like, I was so naive to the world and like how anything worked, and just, I'd never had money. I didn't know what to do, or I just knew that I couldn't spend it because I didn't have any to spend. All I knew is I just had to save every penny. And it was so weird, because my husband at that time, or my ex-husband, you know, he's not ex, but at that time, like, he was super frugal, but his aunt, she was in a multi-level marketing company, Arbonne, and so they convinced him to spend like $3,000 or $4,000. Like, her upline took the money, and we didn't even pick out like, you know, specific colors or like what we wanted. Like, they just spent just thousands, and she just ordered just like all these like random things. Like, we had boxes and boxes of product, and I was supposed to try to sell it to these college students. And I kind of lived with him in the townhouse, but the first year, because we weren't technically married, I also had a dorm, and I literally stayed in the dorm one night because it was the most uncomfortable thing. We stacked the beds, and it was my idea, but I should not have done that. So I had to like climb up the bunk bed, and I couldn't like charge my phone like next to me because I'm like way up in the sky, you know, so I couldn't, my phone was like way down there, so if my alarm went off, like I got up before her, and because I had really early classes and it was pitch black dark, I couldn't see to like try to get ready or get dressed. I felt like I was inconveniencing her like getting up so early to get ready. And it also was like the poor people dorm or whatever. It was for the, you know, low income people like myself, and so there were no bathrooms in your room. Like it was like a giant community bathroom and shower, and I was not used to that, and I did not like that. I was not comfortable with that, so I only stayed there one night, and I packed all my stuff pretty much, and I stayed with my fiance and at his place, and I slept on the couch, and because his dad was like, you know, we're in the South, they didn't like me like staying there before we were married, so I like slept on the couch. But I was so happy with just like having my own little space, and so I literally did not show back up until it was like moving day, like time to go. And I just went there and got the few things like my comforter and whatever else I'd left there. I had a painting that I had painted that I hung on the wall, and that was pretty much it. And I never got to know my roommate or really talk to her or anything. I mean, hopefully she was fine with like having the room all to herself. I know I would have loved that. That would have been amazing. But yeah, so I was supposed to sell the very expensive, like Arbonne is very expensive. I was supposed to sell that to like, I even had like a party in the dorm, like down in the area, like the living room area. But everybody, they loved the product, but they were all low income like me. Like they couldn't afford to spend like $30 or $40 on a lipstick, or you know, like $70 for lotion. It just was it was out of the price range, and I didn't know anyone who was affluent or, you know, like in that realm of having more money to try to sell this product to. So we basically just had like tons of product that I was just kind of like using here and there, and I sold some on eBay, and that's all basically. I think I still have some of that product. Actually, I do. I had some lotion that I tried the other day, and it didn't really smell good anymore because it's literally like maybe more than 10 years old. Moral of the story, don't sell any multi-level marketing. Just don't do it. It's not, you're not gonna make any money. Take it from me. It's not gonna happen. You're better off starting your own thing. So that I did that a little bit, like on the side or whatever, if you could call it that. And then I also, my friend that I had met in my biochem class, she was doing modeling work. So it's not like modeling like photo taking, it's like modeling, kind of like promotional modeling. And I did try to get into the modeling world. There's like a big group in Mississippi and Memphis area of like photographers and models that want to model. I'm very short though, I'm petite. So I tried to get into the modeling world. I met with some photographers, took photos and things like that. I just love creating works of art. I think photography is like very artistic, and it was a lot of fun, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the poses, I didn't know anything, and so it was just like a learning experience. That was a lot of fun. So I just had photo shoots. I did those here and there, and I actually sent my portfolio in, and that's when I first visited Seattle. I actually was told by this company out here in Seattle to come out here for a casting call or something. And so I was really excited that I had sent them like my photos and things, and they invited me out here. And so I told them I'd be coming out here, and they told me just come whenever, just, you know, they sent me the address and, you know, the instructions or whatever, and just like stop in. And so we actually planned a trip out here to Seattle, which is where I live now, to come out here for this modeling like thing, you know, because I thought, wow, they really want me. Like I'm probably gonna have a job. I'm gonna be doing, you know, I'm gonna be modeling, like whatever. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that that's not how it works. And so we flew out here, made like a vacation of it, and I went to the modeling place, you know, and they had to buzz me in, and I had to say who I was and like who I was trying to like talk to or whatever. And when I go into the modeling like agency, there was a person at the front desk, and they just look at me. I can tell they're immediately like, she's too short, she's too petite. And so the guy just completely dismissed me, and I didn't even let me like go talk to the person or anything that like had originally emailed me. It was just like, I'll take your portfolio, like we'll call you if we're gonna like, you know, use you in anything, basically. And so I just felt like so mortified, and was like, they think I'm ugly, or I'm too short, or I'm too fat or something, you know. It was just like, what am I doing here? I was so embarrassed, and so I just left. And I was so upset and so disappointed that I came all the way out here and basically just was like tossed away, you know. It was like, it wasn't really, I guess, like a model cast. It was like, if you're in the area, that's what I'm thinking now. Like, it's probably like, hey, drop in, you know, if you, but I mean, they didn't even let me meet with the person. Like, that's crazy. And so I was like all upset, and I wore heels and stuff, which is not very good for like walking around the city, especially Seattle. It's like very heely. So we stopped off, and I had a bag with my shoes and stuff. I didn't have any backpacks. I didn't bring a backpack. And I stopped off and I changed into some sneakers, and I actually left my purse sitting at this little table, cafe table, whatever, that I had stopped at to change my shoes. And I did not notice that I did not have my purse because I was carrying the bag with my high heels in it. So it was like I just swapped one thing for the other, so I didn't even really, you know, pay attention. I was already upset. And so when we went into like Walgreens, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, where's my purse? Where's my phone? Like, where's all my stuff? I'm like, I had to have left it. And so it took us like 20 minutes to get back to that table. And of course it was gone. And I brought a bunch of cash with me because I wanted to go like shopping at one of the malls or something. And so it was like the little bit of money that I had left and saved up that was like my own from like when I was serving and stuff, and those years that I was nearly killing myself. And so I was so upset to have lost, you know, pretty much all of my savings and my purse and my phone. And I just bought some new powder and lipstick, and you know, those things are expensive, and I don't have a lot of money, and I'm very frugal. So it was just a really bad experience, which, I mean, I still loved Seattle and I still wanted to move out here, but it's just that first like introduction to Seattle was not a very like good one for me. So that was like, it's not necessarily a job, but these are like things that I was pursuing when I was at the university. Oh, back to my friend. So she did promotional modeling, and she invited me because I wanted 2 girls, and it's like this it's like a duck call or something. It's like banquets. Like, people buy tickets to attend these banquets for like the duck association, like the hunting and different things like that, like a hunting rifle association. I don't know. It's like, it's for bougie, like more wealthier people, you know. It's not anything that I know about or anything like that. So I went to these banquets, and they wanted us to dress up in like dresses. We had to wear high heels, and I hate high heels. So I bought some high heels that were like comfortable. They weren't, but I'm sure they were way more comfortable than like most or average high heels. And I was wearing those, and I had a dress that I had bought that was like sequining and stuff. It was really tight. But like I said in my first video, like, I have no boobs. So this job, it's all about the boobs, I think. Like, that's all these guys want to see. And so she had huge boobs. So every single time we worked together, guys would say stuff to me. They would, you know, she would make like $200 more than me because it was based on a sales thing. So they wouldn't buy from me, but they would buy from her, or they would just buy more because of her. And but I got really excited. I was like trying to figure out a way, like, how can I, like, I can't help how my body is built. And so I tried everything I could. Like, I had bras previously that were like the Victoria's Secret or whatever, that's majorly padded. But like the dress that I had, you couldn't really wear a bra with it. Like, it was like a spaghetti strap, like weird strap in the back, like all open pretty much. So I couldn't really do anything about that. So we worked together, and I still made amazing money. I mean, I didn't work very often. It was like maybe less than once a month. It was like certain seasons, and they paid us for like our time and our gas, because sometimes we had to drive like 3 hours, and usually we're out super late. Like, sometimes I would get home and I would be out till like 3 in the morning, and so the next day I just didn't even go to class. My statistics class, I was like, I'm too exhausted. Like, after being on your feet for hours in heels, and you're having to be like so on entertaining and putting up with like gross comments and just like men just being very piggish to you because you're dressed like a certain way, and you're trying to like make money, you're trying to get them to buy stuff from you. So you're just having to just completely just like put yourself out there and just be like really like on and witty and just, you know, banter and flirt, and all of that is just super, super exhausting, like mentally and physically exhausting to just put yourself through that for hours upon hours. And we also had to like carry heavy things like up front, like we had to like model it for the auction. Like me and her would have to like carry like paintings or sculptures or whatever that they were selling, you know, go out there and like showcase it or whatever, and they'd get our pictures. And you know, it was just, I'm so glad I don't do that stuff anymore. It's, you know, it's just like totally demeaning. And so, but I would make like a few $100s in one night. So it was like the most money that I had ever been able to get. So it was pretty exciting. And the agent was actually in Texas. It was this lady, and they said that the ladies that do these types of work and like stuff like banquets and things, like selling raffle tickets and stuff in Texas, like these girls made like, they would make like $1,000 or thousands in a night. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I would love that. Like that would be amazing. And my friend at the time, she was saying that her previous banquet she had been to, that she had made way more money in this. So when I was doing it with her, it was kind of like going down. Like people weren't really spending as much as they, you know, used to spend in previous years, and I'm not sure why. But so I did that here and there, and that brought me some little cash here and there, so I was able to like, you know, go shopping or do some things. My goal at that time wasn't really to save as much as it had been, because I was married, so it kind of felt like I had the safety net. You know, it's kind of like someone had my back, so it was nice, you know, for the first time in my life to kind of feel like someone's got my back. Like I don't have to stress or worry about money or living or any of that kind of stuff. And his parents were really sweet, and so they actually paid for a lot of my school like after that. So after that first year they paid for the other two. But I mean, I think I would have gotten financial aid because we didn't really make any money, and so we would have definitely qualified for financial aid. But it was just nice. I did not have to take student loans out, and I helped her out. So she would one time she sent me like a box of things to like do medical billing, like coding and stuff like that. Like, so I would do that for her sometimes, and that was just something that I did for a little money on the side. And then I think one time they would sometimes, one time we went on a trip, and I think they gave me some money to spend, and a lot of times she would like take me out shopping and things like that, so I didn't have to worry too much about like spending a bunch of money or like trying to like go work somewhere so I could like have a bunch of money saved up. And but now at this point, now that I'm later in life, I wish I had like worked a little more, but I guess I needed that break. I needed, like, I was at the university, and I'd already, like, those 3 previous years, or I mean, it doesn't even have to be that long, just the speed or just the time that I was like working so much, like I get overwhelmed easily, and I get exhausted easily. I don't know, maybe I have some kind of like chronic illness or something, like chronic fatigue. But it's just like I feel like after that time where I was doing that, like just working and not getting any sleep, and I've just been exhausted since then. Like it's just like I've been very like spacey and like brain fog. Like I've just been like I can't hardly think, and just like really, really tired, just tired, like where you sleep and you wake up and you're still tired. It's like sleep doesn't really affect me that much. It's like, and coffee either. Like I'm drinking coffee right now. I like it because this coffee tastes good, and it's nice to kind of have something to hold and stuff like that. But it's and if it's warm, this one's cold, but if it's warm, it's kind of cozy. And but coffee doesn't really affect me. Like I am tired regardless of anything that I do. Like if I go out, I'm tired. If I stay in, I'm tired. I'm just tired. That's my natural default self, tired and exhausted. So the jobs that I had at my university, it wasn't like too many. I just did like the modeling, which did not pay, surveys, which hardly paid anything, and then promotional modeling, which paid okay. But other than that, and then when I graduated, my husband, or my ex-husband at the time, he was still going to the university, and so I just started making soaps because I'm super creative and I like doing fun, crafty things. So I just ordered a bunch of stuff, and I started putting together like really cool soaps. I wanted to make them look like cupcakes. I did bath bombs that were like whipped icing type of thing that were like a sugar scrub on the top of the bath bomb, and it looked like a cupcake, and I put little sprinkles and like all this stuff. I was making really, really cute stuff, and I took some of them to a boutique. And this was right before he was graduating. And so I took him to this boutique, and the lady absolutely loved it. And she said, I'm going to buy all of it. And so I sold her like everything I had made, because she was like, how much do you have? And I was like, I have this box, like this is all I've made. And she was like, I'll take the entire box. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I sold it to her, I think for like 400 or like 450, this box of everything that I had been making. And she told me, you can't sell it to anyone else though. Like, she didn't want anyone else in the town to sell it. And like, if you go to Mississippi or like any southern town, they always have like these cute like little boutiques that have like unique gifts and things. And so she wanted to be the exclusive person who has my cute little stuff. And I didn't have any branding or logo or anything like that really. And so I did go to this company, or one of these like logo makers. I think it was like a printing company, and I had them make me a logo. And I really liked that first logo. It was very basic. It only cost like $60, but it was really cute. I was very happy with it. And that's when I started my boutique, was after I graduated college. So, and I pretty much did that after college for like for the next like 4 years or so, until I divorced. And so I had my boutique, and I added clothing, and I was in like booths and stuff where you like rent out like spaces in other stores. And I at one point had like a little storefront at the mall. That was really hard because we had to be there like 7 days a week. And so I just did like all these fun like side things. But during that whole time of me doing that, I didn't really have to worry so much about like how much money I was actually making to pay bills, because his family was super wealthy. And so I didn't have to like stress over that. And even though it's always in the back of your mind, because if someone else is taking like that on, it's always good to be self-sufficient. Like, even if you're not having to worry, you're still stressing about it, because it's like, you don't know how long this is going to last. You don't know like when it could always disappear. Like, don't ever take anything for granted. And so I still was like stressed though, because I wanted to have my own money. I wanted to be, have my own success and feel like that I'm standing on my own 2 feet, doing my thing, like not stressing or worrying about, like other people or things. But I kind of did not have too much of a choice in like my job at that point, which I'm not going to get into like all of that, drama or backstory, whatever. So I did what I could with what I had. And then after my divorce, it was like I tried applying, actually trying to get into my career at that point, and it was just too late by that point, because I didn't do any internships or anything like that. So it was like, the bandwagon had gone. I'd missed my time to try to get a job. And also Mississippi doesn't really have a lot of jobs. Like, most of the jobs there are going to be food or retail. Like, there's not a lot of career good paying jobs with great benefits or holidays or things like that. Most of the jobs are going to be very low wage, poverty jobs. And that'll be for my next video, part 3 of series of unfortunate jobs. I know this one wasn't like super long and there wasn't like a lot to go off of, but I do like kind of segmenting it, I think, into, blocks, I guess, like of my life. Like community college, and then the university, and then after my university, like what I did immediately after. Like, I think that's pretty good. And I have had a boutique, and because I did do it so young, I didn't really know what I was doing. And I do think I want to kind of maybe do a whole video on that, like what I learned and like what I would do or wouldn't do, or what I would change. Like, if you're just now thinking of like starting your own business on eBay, or a business for Amazon, or a boutique, or just anything like a brick and mortar type of business. I've learned a lot the last like 10 years of me like I've always kind of had an entrepreneurial mind. I've always liked doing my own thing and being unique and different, because that's fun. I like being my own unique self. I feel like that there's so many people who are like mainstream or following mainstream. Like, why don't we just do our own thing? I find people like that more fascinating and interesting. So that was part 2 of my series of unfortunate jobs. And I might film another video today, but I'm probably definitely going to have to charge my camera, because I've been talking for a while and my camera is going to be dying soon. I just know it. feel it. And I need to drink some coffee because my next video I want to be a little more like upbeat and like, you know, I am in the entertainment business now, so I have to, or maybe people find that entertaining, like not upbeat. I don't know. Let me know down below. Like, what do you like to watch videos or follow people who are like super hyper and, you know, like really like full of life? Or are you okay with people who just kind of talk, you know, normal and are not like so entertaining or over the top? Because I do like that about Bunny, but I don't think I can have that same personality as Bunny. And I don't think that's like her real true personality anyway. I think that's like her camera personality, which I guess you could say that's kind of like my personality when I interact with people. I have definitely a different personality around humans versus like when I'm by myself. Although I do like to skip around the apartment and talk to the dog. So maybe it's kind of the same. I can also be very hyper and just like crazy. Just like doing crazy stuff when no one's watching. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, no one has seen me. That would be just terrible. Like sometimes I feel like I have a conversation in my mind and when I'm alone, and then maybe I leave the apartment and I go somewhere like the store or I'm walking outside and then I see someone and I'm like, did I say something out loud or was that just my dialogue in my mind? I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it would be real. Or like if you're singing, like I don't like singing in front of people, but I can like in my mind like hear the song or whatever, and but then sometimes I do sing without even really noticing it, and I would hate that if I'm like, I think, oh, it was the other day I got out of my car and something happened and I was like kind of like talking. I think I like almost fell or something. There was a bug. I don't remember. Something was going on. I was saying something like to the bug or like whatever, and then I look over and there was like a lady on her patio like sweeping, and I was like, she's probably like, who is that person talking to? I was like, whatever. I've got the colorful hair. I'm definitely owning my personality. My colorful personality is showing right now. It's fine.